What a way to end the week. Am I right? Let's fucking go, man. What a week. No trades today. Want to make this one super short. Honestly, the only trade that potentially, I was looking for, okay, so let's go back for a little bit actually. I was looking for longs today. I was bullish just because of this hourly structure right here. I wanted us to see tap into this hourly, which we did, and then continue higher, which is exactly what we're doing. However, we didn't really find an entry, to be honest with you. Nothing that was worth. We saw this perfect M pattern form right here, which I really liked. However, something about this just did not sit right with me. Like, we had this. It was the following thing. So we had the M pattern, or in this case, the W pattern right there. The thing is the following. This wick right here basically prevented me from taking the trade, because I would have taken this, right? With my break even being up here, which technically would be working right now, but we would barely be at like a 1 to something RR. So this entry was really not worth it, other than the fact that, you know, we got a huge sum here. I could have entered over here. Yes, I could have. It's just this wick right here to me was like, I really don't like it because of the nature of the trade itself. Like, as much as this would be playing out right now, we'd be up like a 1 to 2.5. Like, I think this is going to go up to these targets eventually. It's just one of those days that you have to recognize, you know, price action isn't delivering the way that I thought we would. I mean, it's many things. So first, okay, we sweep this internal lows, we have SMT, then we go immediately to our target, which would be these internal highs. And the thing is, we trade out of this hourly gap, but the problem is we make a perfect inversion at 10 a.m. Like, we literally make a perfect inversion down, but we didn't even take the lows. So to me, it's like, okay, we should be respecting bullish order flow. What's the problem though? We disrespect this 1 minute right here, which is the opening range 1 minute. At the same time, we flip this 15 minute. At the same time, we continue making bearish order flow. Okay, we see a little bit of a retrace right here. Boom. I was waiting right here. It's like, okay, if we get a strong closure up here, then a retrace and continuations higher, I'll enter this trade. Problem is, we make a move up, we inverse it immediately. So in this move up, there was nothing to tell me that we are going to actually continue higher, because look, even in the next 1 minute candle, the 1 minute gap, we flipped it, and then we flipped it right back up. So it's just not great price action. You have to recognize it. And as much as, yes, we were right in the direction and right in our theory, there's no reason for us to trade, because at this point, this is kind of a gamble. And I'm not willing to sit through all this bullshit just for my trade to barely be trailing up to like a 1-to-1 R. I'd rather wait for a good setup where, if this setup that we had right here had presented itself, so let me just put it in like a rectangle. If this right here had presented itself a little bit higher up, I would have taken it. Now, this brings me to ES. And why didn't I take a trade on ES? Well, for the following reasons. So let's actually just go to ES on this one here. So ES actually had a much better trade theory than NQ. However, again, this is so ES, same idea. We did have an SMT. We didn't tap this hourly. However, we did trade out of this hourly gap, retrace back into it, and then saw bullish continuations. What does this tell us? We probably want to go higher, which is exactly what we're doing. However, look at this delivery. The delivery is really bad. This is not good delivery right here. We did take this 15-minute gap, fill it basically perfectly, and then see continuations higher. You could have said, okay, perfect. We see this 15-minute gap right here form. We have our M pattern, or W pattern in this case. Why am I not taking this trade? Well, other than the fact that we had kind of a consolidating price action and not super clear targets, I really did not like the fact that on this gap right here, we flipped it down. We completely disrespected it. And then we made the move down, we made the move up, and there was no real good point of entry here. As much as we make a perfect W move, there's no good point of entry. What am I going to take? A trade all the way up here? What? It's just for this to be my break even, and I get break even immediately? Where are my stop losses? So my stop loss is going to be here. This is going to be down here. See, it's just like recognizing when it's worth it and not worth it to trade. If I had taken this trade right here and I put it at the most recent swing low, I would have gotten stopped out immediately in one candle. So that's why I'm not taking that trade. If we had gotten this inversion right here with a strong closure above here, I would have taken this trade, and I would have gone probably there, break-even point up here, would have ended up being a break-even trade, regardless, but, you know, it's better that than nothing. It's just not good price action and not good modeling. I don't see the reason to trade, so I don't trade. I'd rather keep my 4 wins for the week, and a really good week at that, and focus on next week instead of taking a little bit of a gamble and maybe losing today. That's basically it. And that's what you have to recognize. If you're not even able to do that, then you're not going to be profitable ever. Yes, there's infinite setups. We had this 1 minute inverse. We had this 1 minute inverse. We have this 1 minute inverse. But is the structure really telling you, okay, I know where I want to go. I know where I want to go. If we really did know where we wanted to go, we would have gone up. We would have seen an immediate rejection up towards this block. We wouldn't be having these full order candles. We wouldn't having this retrace. We would not be having any of that bullshit. And we have to put into perspective, it's Friday. We made pretty big moves this week. I mean, if you go down, let's go to like the hourly. This entire week, we've made pretty substantial moves. I mean, we made it almost all the way up to the all-time highs, and then from the top of the week to the bottom of the week, we've 4%. So, of course, you can imagine that this is now going to take a little bit of time to get there. Like, it's not going to be the prettiest price action. So, I'm not willing to trade this. I know that in the future, maybe I will take one of these trades, but there's nothing today that tells me, okay, this is the right trade to take. That's why I didn't take the trade. Basically it. Really good end to the week. 4 wins, 0 losses. Gonna keep it going for next week, and I'll catch you guys on Monday. Peace.